Are you tired of talking about your problems and feeling like nothing ever changes? You've had the conversations, explained how you feel, you've repeated yourself 1,000 times, and yet somehow you're still having the same argument over and over and over. Maybe it's the dishes, maybe it's who does the school drop off, maybe it's something bigger. But here's the truth. It's never about the dishes. When words become just noise, we stay stuck in the loop, thinking we're communicating when really we're avoiding feeling, avoiding action, avoiding truth. So let's talk about why talking about it isn't working and what actually creates change. We've been taught that communication is the key to relationships, and it is, but only when it's alive. What a lot of us call communication is actually just looping. It's rehashing the same surface conversation, hoping that this time our partner will finally understand. But we don't realize that we're not actually saying anything new. We're just defending, explaining, blaming. So here's what's really happening. Talking feels safe. It keeps us in control. It lets us think we're doing something without actually doing anything different. But communication isn't action. Words can't create the change. Energy and action do. And when our words aren't backed by embodiment, by presence, by tone, by softness, honesty, they don't land. So if you've been talking and nothing is shifting, it's not because there's something wrong with you. It's because talking was never meant to do all the work. So here's where everything can start to change. When you shift from talking about the problem to embodying a new energy, people can feel it. You've had that moment before, right? That moment where you finally decide something. You stop explaining, you're excited, you move into action. You move differently. Your energy is different. Suddenly the atmosphere around you changes. That is the power of aligned action. And it might look like maybe choosing not to react when you normally would. Saying, I hear you, instead of getting defensive and trying to win an argument. Maybe it's taking a breath before reacting. When you're no longer trying to be right, you're just trying to be real. Because peace doesn't come from trying to convince someone else that what you say is right. It comes from deciding who you actually want to be in that moment. And if you want help practicing that, I created a short mini course called It's Not About the Dishes. It's a real talk, funny but true guide to understanding what you're really fighting about so you can stop wasting your energy. I'll link it below. So let's talk about the missing piece in most relationship advice. We're told to talk, analyze, figure it out. But the body holds wisdom that the mind can't access. When you move, when you breathe, when you create or connect with your senses, you open space for understanding that words just can't reach. Think about it. How many of your best insights came when you weren't overthinking? Maybe while you were walking, painting, dancing, doing the dishes, or having a shower. That's because embodiment brings you back into flow. It gets you out of your head and into the truth of how you feel. When you're embodied, your communication changes. You speak from grounded energy, not defensiveness. You listen differently. You soften. And that's where the real intimacy starts, through presence, not performance. So the next step is in reclaiming your voice. Not the one that's trying to fix or please everyone, but the one that's honest, alive, and connected to your body. Real change happens when you stop saying what you think is right and start saying what feels true. That might mean saying things like, I feel disconnected and I want us to find our spark again. Or even, I'm afraid to bring this up, but I don't want us to keep pretending that everything is fine. Because your voice carries power when it's rooted in embodiment. And when you speak from that place, people feel you. Your family, your partner, your kids will feel it. So now you know. Real transformation doesn't come from talking more. It's about moving differently. It's about letting your body, your creativity, and your truth lead the conversation. If you haven't already, click the video on screen. It's called Tired of Doing Everything for Everyone. It'll help you understand why this pattern runs so deep and set the foundation for everything we talked about today. I'll see you there.